We rely...
Doesn't look promising. Have a great evening, everybody.
On World News Tonight this Tuesday, the NATO alliance is authorized to go to war against Serbia. The Serbian leader will not sign a peace agreement for the Serbian province of Kosovo.
If President Milosevic is not willing to make peace, we are willing to limit his ability to make war.
Dr. Jack Kevorkian's murder trial. The judge says he may not call an important witness. And the endless campaign to get kids off cigarettes. How effective is television? How about taking them to court? We'll take a closer look.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. It appears all but certain this evening that the United States and its NATO allies are going to war with Serbia. It breaks down this way. The Serbian leader, Slobodan Milosevic, has not been persuaded by the U.S. that he should sign a peace agreement with ethnic Albanians living in the province of Kosovo. And so as of now, the United States is going to use its military power to see if it can make Milosevic bend. It's not been a great day. The U.S. Ambassador, Richard Holbrooke, could not convince Milosevic to accept an agreement and NATO troops to enforce an agreement. In Serbia tonight, there's a state of emergency. You cannot always tell it on the streets of Belgrade. The Serbian military is waiting to be attacked, and it has the capacity to defend itself. The Russian prime minister, who was on his way to Washington, turned around when he got as far as Ireland and went home. Russia is a Serbian ally, and the prime minister clearly did not want to be in Washington while U.S. airplanes were attacking Serbians left, right, and center. Take a look at the map of Europe, and the ramifications of all this begin to come clear. Kosovo is a province of Serbia, which is part of Yugoslavia, right in the dangerous heart of the continent. The fear is that whatever happens in Kosovo may infect other parts of Europe, just as what happened in Bosnia was an infection well beyond its borders. Military action against the Serbs is a very dangerous game and a very high-stakes one for President Clinton. He said today that many Americans might not be able to find Kosovo on the map, but it is, he said, in the national interest to do something about it. And so first we go to the White House and ABC's Sam Donaldson. Sam.
Peter, the president has given the green light. NATO headquarters has passed the order along to the military. And unless Serbian leader Milosevic does a swift and complete about-face, which no one here expects, the bombs are going to begin falling very soon.
In a speech here in Washington, the president said if there's one thing people know about him, it is that he doesn't like to use military force. But he said the Serbs must be stopped. First, to save lives. If you don't stand up to brutality and the killing of innocent people, you invite the people who do it to do more of it. Also, said the president, unchecked, the killing could spread beyond Kosovo's borders. If it continues, it could spread to neighboring Albania, just to the south. Then it could put massive numbers of refugees in Macedonia. Believe me, it could draw in even Greece and Turkey. There is yet another important reason to act, said the president, preserving NATO's and his credibility. If we don't do anything after all the to and fro that's been said here, it will be interpreted by Mr. Milosevic as a license to continue to kill. That would discredit NATO because we didn't keep our word. After being briefed by the president, several members of Congress who have publicly questioned the wisdom of bombing said they would now go along in support of the troops.
I disagree with the policy of what we're doing in Kosovo, but I think it becomes a different issue when action is imminent.
Many members of Congress worry that if the bombing doesn't accomplish the goals, there'll be a call for ground troops, something administration officials insist they are not contemplating. But Congress would like to hear that from the president. And in fact, Peter, Mr. Clinton intends to address the nation on Kosovo once the bombs actually begin falling.
Thank you, Sam. Sam Donaldson at the White House. At the Pentagon tonight, they are saying that airstrikes would be swift and severe. That leaves a lot of room for interpretation. And while we know it will begin as an air campaign only, what are the dangers for the Allied pilots? At the Pentagon, John McCarthy.
Pilots at NATO air bases in Italy were making final preparations today. These planes could be dropping bombs on Serbia by tomorrow night. Their mission is expected to be considerably more difficult and more dangerous than flying against Iraq.
The weather is going to be bad. The terrain is mountainous. You have to fly close to get a line of sight for even precision-guided munitions. This is not going to be anything like the Gulf War.
Adding to the risk, military sources tell ABC News, is the urgent need to stop the Serb offensive in Kosovo. That means bombing their troops there, even before Serbia's formidable air defenses have been heavily damaged. Serb missiles and radar, parts of which were modernized by the Russians earlier this decade, will still be dangerously effective against American planes.
There are no assurances that we won't lose aircraft in trying to take on those air defenses.
2, 1. Military sources say unmanned cruise missiles will be used in an attempt to soften up air defenses, but it will require manned aircraft to attack most targets, especially troops, tanks, and missile batteries that may be on the move. The Serbs have now had weeks to prepare for what is about to happen, to spread out their troops, to hide missiles in the mountains, to set traps for NATO planes. They may lose this confrontation, but not without a fight. John McWethy, ABC News, the Pentagon.
Our resident military analyst, Tony Kortesman, is also with us. He's in our Washington bureau. Tony, Yugoslavia has a long military tradition, powerful army. In very simple terms, how much damage could they do to U.S. pilots?
As long as we can stay with stealth against fixed targets, not much. The moment we have to fly low-altitude strikes, come in close to the targets, loiter over them, we become vulnerable to their surface-to-air missiles and even to their anti-aircraft guns.
Does that include B-52 bombers, which might be used? They fly too high to be away from surface-to-air missiles?
They fly too high. They'll be using cruise missiles. Our stealth bombers use systems which make it almost impossible to track them. But it's the F-16s, the F-15s, all the other fixed-wing fighters that will become vulnerable as this goes on.
Thanks, Tony. Tony Kortesman, please don't go far. Our military analyst, Tony Kortesman, with us throughout this crisis, and it is a crisis. Tonight, there's every expectation that a bad situation is going to get even worse. The U.S. and its allies have evacuated their embassies in the Serbian capital, Belgrade, and ABC's Jim Wooten is in Serbia tonight.
All day long, the Serb parliament was denouncing America and its NATO allies. The West doesn't care about human rights, they said, only force. And by early this evening on the streets of Belgrade, almost everyone knew what that would mean and whom they would hold responsible. Bombing. It's outrageous, said this Serb woman. I blame the United States. We will never give up Kosovo. Airstrikes are a crime, this man said. America should be tried in international court. Tomorrow, the government is expected to declare martial law. Technicalities, formalities, declarations aside, this is a city and a country now preparing for war. A much different sort of war than the one its own military is waging 200 miles south of here in Kosovo. Again today, the Yugoslav army and Serb state police pressed their offensive all over the province. And although the rebels were still defending themselves, there was panic in Pristina, the Kosovo capital, as thousands tried to leave the city. Fearing a flood of new refugees, next door Macedonia closed its border. They came anyway, any route they could find, any way they could come, running from one war, waiting for another. Jim Wooten, ABC News, Belgrade.
So everybody waits now for the first bombs to fall. This has the potential to be a very nasty situation. When we come back, some of the other news today, Dr. Jack Kevorkian's murder trial. The doctor loses an important round. And anti-smoking ads made by teenagers for teenagers. Do they work? We'll take a closer look.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by DirecTV.
We have new facts about a nationwide conspiracy. These members of her family happy. They're not forced to stay, but once they join, they never want to leave. Here's their latest recruitment effort.
Now buy a DirecTV system and get free installation, plus 3 free months of programming, with no long-term commitments. So hurry, sign up today.
Someday we will all be one of them. Who are these people?
DirecTV.
What are you looking at?
If you can do this, you can make wood beautiful with Minwax. And if you can do this, you can give wood lasting protection. Turning a house into a beautiful home is as easy as turning to Minwax.
While some folks couldn't sleep, you were peacefully sleeping thanks to new Simply Sleep from the makers of Tylenol PM. It's non-habit forming and eases you into a restful night's sleep. New Simply Sleep.
The heart-healthy soluble fiber found in psyllium is also found in Metamucil, which means it may now actually help reduce your risk of heart disease by lowering cholesterol. Metamucil, good for you, good for your heart.
When Dr. Jack Kevorkian went on trial yesterday for murder, almost everybody agreed it need not be a long trial, and on day 2, the prosecution has already rested its case. And the country's most famous right-to-die advocate has found himself in what the judge calls a very difficult position. ABC's Terry Moran is covering the trial for us in Pontiac, Michigan.
The prosecutors tried to convince jurors that Jack Kevorkian's killing of Thomas Yauch last year was not some neat, noble triumph of the right to die, but a grim and awkward affair, a crime Kevorkian tried to cover up. Exhibit A, the 18-minute videotape of Thomas Yauch's death, including parts not broadcast on CBS's 60 Minutes last year, showing Kevorkian fumbling around for several minutes, apparently searching for a vein in Yauch's left arm. Once Kevorkian moved to the other arm, Yauch made muffled sounds as the poison hit him. The prosecution also sought to show that Kevorkian may have tried to tidy up the death scene, moving Yauch's body from the wheelchair where he died into his bed, and even covering up signs of the injections.
Did you notice anything about those needle marks? They were covered up with a type of makeup. Covered up with makeup? Yes.
After the prosecution rested, Kevorkian sought to call his own witness, Melody Yauch, Thomas Yauch's widow, to describe her husband's desperate condition. But Judge Jessica Cooper refused to let jurors hear her testimony, ruling that the victim's suffering or consent is not a legitimate defense to a murder charge.
What you're talking about is mercy killing.
Well, you may say it's mercy killing, but I call it something else. I call it medical service for an agonized, incurably suffering patient.
Finally, the judge told Kevorkian his argument was about politics, not evidence.
I understand that you disagree with the laws of the state of Michigan.
The showdown with the judge leaves Jack Kevorkian in a perilous position for a man facing life in prison. He may have nothing left to offer the jury in his defense, except his own impassioned arguments. Terry Moran, ABC News, Pontiac, Michigan.
On the money tonight, investors on Wall Street, worried about declining corporate earnings and the trouble brewing in Kosovo, sent the Dow Jones Industrial Average down more than 218 points to close at 96.71. The Dow 10,000 seems a little bit like a distant memory. On the NASDAQ, stocks lost 73 points. In a moment, the fight against teenage smoking, sending a message on television and, if necessary, in the courtroom. A closer look.
I'm gonna live forever.
I'm gonna ruin your shirt. Stay. Baby, remember my name.
The amazing new Maytag Neptune washer. With its Turbo Clean Wash system, it actually has the power to remove stains.
Say goodnight, stains.
I wanna live forever.
Now in a super stack.
But I wasn't gone long.
Your husband was right here?
I went to check the ticket.
Bingo.
What?
Have you checked the Chili Dog Express?
Oh, no. Hot dogs give Jack indigestion and heartburn.
Not this time.
What is it?
Looks like the remains of the minty fresh Pepsid AC chewable.
Chewable?
Now the first chewable that stops heartburn before it starts. Great tasting Pepsid AC chewables.
Jack?
Start living heartburn free with new Pepsid AC chewables.
Hello? Michael?
Coming.
Hi. Oh, made a little extra.
I guess you heard Barbara was away.
Visiting Katie at college.
Yep.
First year, huh? How mad.
Made the dean's list.
Great. I know our Josh is only in 3rd grade, but I don't know how you guys did it. Put him through school and all?
We invested with T. Rowe Price.
Really?
Yeah, and they helped us figure out how much to put away. They've got this college planning kit.
Oh, on my way to my mom's anyway.
Hey, thanks.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 60 years.
Welcome to My Mailboxes, Etc. This is a full-service copy center. Need thousands of copies? No problem. We do it all, from start to finish. All you have to do is drop it off here. We'll take care of the rest. Say you have a big proposal. We'll color copy it, bind it, and you're on your way. Presentations, calendars, brochures, menus, we'll even laminate, all with a personal touch. Can your copy store do that? Mailboxes, Etc. We're making business easier. We're making life easier.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at the struggle to keep children from smoking, the endless struggle separating kids from their cigarettes. It's no easy task. The latest report from the Centers for Disease Control says that 6,000 kids a day try their first cigarette. The number of teens who smoke regularly has increased by 73% since 1988. More than 20% of high school seniors say they smoke on a daily basis. The anti-smoking movement in the United States has always put considerable faith in the power of television to have an effect on kids. So when the state of Florida got money from the tobacco companies, which the state had sued, they used some of the money for an anti-smoking television campaign. How about its effectiveness? ABC's Ron Claiborne is in Florida.
Welcome back to the 125th Demon Award Show.
Florida has produced a series of anti-smoking ads that are tough and edgy, created by teenagers for teenagers.
The winner is tobacco.
Weird truth. The generation is tired of being lied to about tobacco.
That's the way they became affected by secondhand smoke.
They portray cigarette makers as liars and manipulators.
We're trying to get out the message that, yes, smoking is bad, you know that. And now know that they've been trying to hide it from you.
Today, Florida health officials issued a report claiming that since the ads began running last year, smoking among 11 to 17-year-olds has declined 10%.
What that translates to is 31,000 fewer teens are smoking this year than last year.
But can TV ads really persuade kids not to smoke? And if so, what works? That's what the Federal Centers for Disease Control is studying right now. The ongoing CDC study of teenagers is expected to conclude that the ads that work best feature real smoking victims.
They say nicotine isn't addictive.
She's smoking through her neck because she's addicted and she can't stop. That catches my attention, and it's just like you feel sorry for her.
The same teenagers were also shown anti-smoking spots that Philip Morris is running nationwide.
Have you ever tried cigarettes?
Nope.
Why not?
The bus one. Hated it.
So staged. You could tell those were staged. They weren't really showing, like, the consequences of smoking.
Philip Morris insists its research shows the ads are effective.
They liked the ads. They liked the situations in the ads. They liked the kids in the ads.
Did you ask them if they would be less likely to smoke because of the ads?
Not directly, no.
A growing body of research shows that the right kind of TV commercial can help children decide not to smoke. Crucial information for the 46 states now deciding how to spend billions of dollars from their tobacco settlement. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, Miami.
So if the ads do not work, if health warnings do not work, what else can be done? A law in Florida requires some unusually tough measures for a tough problem. Catch a kid smoking and you can take him to court. Here's ABC's Bob Woodruff.
Barry Martin, only 14 years old, caught smoking cigarettes. Not by his parents, but by the Tampa police.
About how many cigarettes do you smoke a day?
10.
About 10 a day?
Barry gets a $25 ticket and will have to take an anti-smoking class. But first, the police go find his father, a lifelong smoker who has been trying to get his son to quit.
So you happy these guys are doing this?
Oh, yes. I'm happy they are. I hope they can catch more of them.
They have caught plenty of them. Since the new law went into effect in October 1997, almost 2,000 kids in Tampa have been ticketed for simply possessing tobacco.
Police concentrate their efforts on areas where they're most likely to find kids smoking: malls, convenience stores, and high schools.
This 16-year-old was caught smoking outside a mini-mart, 2 packs of cigarettes in his pockets.
Are you scared right now that your dad's going to find out you're smoking? Yeah. What's he going to do? I don't know.
All rise.
To process the growing number of cases, a special tobacco court has been set up for underage smokers.
I think that is effective in swaying them from going to a lifetime of cigarette smoking. We can keep them, maybe intervene in time to save them from doing that.
But the effectiveness of legal crackdowns on teen smokers has never been studied, and some anti-smoking advocates claim they take the pressure off the adults who sell tobacco.
Children don't have the political clout that the tobacco retailers have, and what we're seeing is the punitive measures are being shifted away from the tobacco industry and onto the children. We see this as an approach of blaming the victim.
For many people here, using the police to catch kids who smoke is heavy-handed. But for Barry Martin, perhaps it will help.
I need you to pick up your Newport off the ground there and toss it in the garbage for me, sir.
This, he says, was his last cigarette. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Tampa.
As Bob noted, there's some disagreement over how well this Get Tough policy works, and in Florida, the state funding for the program has just run out. So if local communities want to keep the program going, they will have to do it on their own. When we come back, a major controversy about Viagra.
The best way to stop suffering from allergies is never to start. This is Nasal Crom. You heard right. Nasal Crom. It's allergy prevention. Nasal Crom doesn't just relieve allergies. It flat out prevents them, preventing the natural defenses in your nose from going haywire. So you can live like a person with no allergies. Nasal Crom's like nothing else. No drowsiness, no jitters, no rebound congestion. Nasal Crom. The best way to stop suffering is never to start.
Experience the power of weather on the hour. Get the latest local forecast every hour on the hour, 24 hours a day on Channel 2. When weather is your top priority, turn to 2 at the top of every hour.
Weather on the hour. It's only on Channel 2.
Nancy will have to see from near to far almost 1,000 times today. Her eyes will focus on 40 labels, 60 charts, and 100 smiles. And in all that time, she'll never once think about the science that allows her to focus instantly at all distances. Nancy just knows that her Verilux lenses help her see better. And for her, that's a very comforting thought. Verilux, the comfort of better vision. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-VERILUX.
When I take a liquid antacid, I feel like, ugh.
It's like liquid chalk.
I'm not crazy about any of them.
If you had something that tastes better, I mean, it would be a joy.
Introducing new fast-acting Mylanta Supreme.
What makes it supreme? Wow.
Oh, that's good. I'm not kidding.
Very light. Yeah, it tastes like a dessert.
It's the only liquid antacid with no chemical preservatives.
It doesn't taste like medicine, I'll tell you.
No. It's actually helping my indigestion now.
Supreme relief. Taste it for yourself.
Got some more?
Please be sure your seatbelt is fastened and your seat is in the upright position.
He talked me into one mutual fund I liked and 2 I've never heard of, one of which invests in Asian debt.
Captain.
14, you clear for takeoff.
Don't you wish everybody used Charles Schwab? With access to top-performing no-load funds from leading fund families, all in one place. No commissions, no pushy brokers. Schwab, ready to move up.
Viagra went on sale in Japan today, 1 year after it was approved for sale in the United States. And the government's decision to make this anti-impotency drug legally available is hugely controversial. In Tokyo tonight, ABC's Mark Litke.
Only weeks after hitting the U.S. market, this now familiar little pill, Viagra, could be found all over Japan. Sold illegally for $100 a pill in red light districts, at neighborhood bars, even ordered right off the internet and delivered within a week. And while the Japanese government usually takes years to approve new drugs, Viagra is now on sale, approved in an unprecedented 6 months. Those who've lobbied since the 60s for the birth control pill were appalled, though it's a double standard that's common here when it comes to sex.
Japanese men control the women and sex and pregnancy.
The government has justified the ban on birth control pills by claiming they might increase birth defects or venereal disease, even AIDS. The anti-pill propaganda has been so effective, 93% of Japanese women say they won't use the pill because they fear side effects. Most use only condoms for contraception, and 20% of all pregnancies here end in abortion. So many that that these small statues for the souls of unborn fetuses are found nationwide. So how could officials continue to deny a safe form of contraception to women while approving the impotency pill for men in record time? Japan's health ministry says Viagra was approved because impotence is a health emergency for men in need of immediate treatment, while birth control pills are for women who are healthy, so they can afford to wait a little longer. Mark Litsky, ABC News, Tokyo.
As we said, controversial. In Alaska today, the authorities are studying a dramatic home video of Sunday's avalanche on a mountain south of Anchorage. The tape shows snowmobilers. You can see them there at the bottom racing away as a great wall of snow thunders down the hill. They did not make it. 4 bodies have been recovered so far, and 2 snowmobilers are still missing. We'll be back in just a moment.
Frequent heartburn. Is it worse at night, especially after dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Have you treated it, even changed your diet, but still suffered 2 or more days a week?
Mm-hmm.
Has your heartburn been a persistent problem for you?
Mm-hmm.
Your heartburn may be due to a potentially serious condition called acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. For many people, 1 capsule daily provides 24-hour complete heartburn relief. Ask your doctor about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the 24-hour complete heartburn relief that's possible with Prilosec.
Finally, intelligent life in auto insurance. Be progressive. Call 1-800-AUTO-PRO for savings that are out of this world. And remember...
So, Murray, did you hear?
About Nick across the way.
Tried climbing his life.
Yeah, got sprayed.
Didn't he just get sprayed?
Yeah, took off his head, but didn't get the roots. Grew back stronger than ever. Whatever got him this time was different.
He had such strong roots. They were handsome roots and deep.
I didn't think anything could take old Nick.
Hey, next time, it could be us.
Don't even think it.
Roundup kills even tough weeds down to the root. Roundup, no root, no weed, no problem.
Critics call It's Like You Know a riot, verging on excellence.
You know, I've met most of the biggest jackasses in L.A.
And that's a pretty competitive category.
The show with the funny name, It's Like You Know, premieres after Dharma and Greg, Wednesday on ABC.
Up next on Channel 2 News, fire at a meth lab sends off a cloud of questions about the House's criminal history. And teachers in Southwest Washington hope for more than an apple from voters. I'm Paul Lindman, News of the Northwest, next.
Well, it's going to be a very tense 24 hours for the United States and for Serbia and the province of Kosovo. The United States and its NATO allies are on the verge of a major military campaign against the Serbs. The talks to bring peace to the province of Kosovo failed, and NATO airstrikes are quite likely to begin tomorrow. In Serbia itself, they are girding for war, mobilizing the army, declaring an overall state of emergency. Slobodan Milosevic, the Serb leader, is one very tough man. And Serbia's air defenses may pose real dangers for NATO pilots. We will stay on this story very closely. That's our report on World News Tonight. We hope we'll see you tomorrow. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night.
Tomorrow, a plan to make our skies safer is scrapped. Billions of dollars wasted. Why'd the FAA do it? It's your money. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News.